Mendel selected this garden pea plant for the following 3 reasons. The first reason was many varieties were available in the alternative forms of character. Next one is pure forms which bred true, that means they produce the same type generation after generation. Garden pea is a self-pollinating plant, but it could be cross-pollinated artificially. So he selected basically the 7 pairs of contrasting characters, and then his findings on this were collectively known as the Mendels Law of inheritance. He did 2 types of cross. One was monohybrid cross, another one was dihybrid cross. Mono means one, that means one character was selected at a time, and another one is known as dihybrid cross, that is 2 characters at a time. Di means 2, that means 2 characters were selected at a time. Now the first one is monohybrid cross. I have drawn here the Punnett square, and here you can see how it comes up. See, dihybrid cross is a cross which is taken by taking only one character at a time. Here we have taken a pure tall and we have represented it as a homozygous dominant, and another one as dwarf homozygous recessive. In the first generation we have lined up here and we have written. Now let us see how it comes. So in the F1 generation all were heterozygous tall. The same thing which we take in the second generation, we got it as So in the monohybrid cross, what we got is as phenotype and genotype ratio. We got how many are tall. Let us see, 1, 2, 3. So 3, and how many short? 1. That is 3:1. If we see it genotypically, if we see this one as genotypically, we will see it as homozygous tall, heterozygous tall, heterozygous tall, homozygous recessive. So the ratio will be 1:2:1. We can see only one homozygous tall. No more homozygous tall are present. Then we can see heterozygous tall. 1, 2. 2 heterozygous talls are present. So I have represented here 2. And only one homozygous recessive. That's why 1. So this was all about the monohybrid cross. You can see here in the diagram, this is a monohybrid cross. Now we'll talk about the dihybrid cross. Dihybrid cross mainly represents the breeding of 2 characters together, that is crossbreeding of 2 characters together. In your book you can see it is 2 characters taken as round yellow seeds and wrinkle green seeds. The phenotypic ratio is only important for you. You do not have to write the genotypic ratio as it is very complex. So the phenotypic ratio is mentioned over here as 9:3:3:1. Now we'll talk about Mendels Law of inheritance. See, he gave 3 laws and these are very important. The first law is law of dominance, second one is law of segregation, and third one is law of independent assortment. The first law states that out of a pair of two contrasting characters present together, only one is able to express itself while the other remains suppressed. The one which is able to express itself is known as the dominant one. The one which remains suppressed is known as the recessive one. Next law is law of segregation. Out of the two members of a pair of factors separate during the formation of the gametes, two members of a pair of factors separate during the formation of gametes. And the last one is law of independent assortment. This states that in case of two pairs of contrasting characters, the distribution of the members of one pair into the gametes is independent of the distribution of other pair. So, the other pair is not dependent upon the first pair. Now, applications of Mendel's law we'll see. It gives an idea of new combination in new generation. It enables to predict the frequency of characters in the new generation. Better quality plant and animal breeds can be produced. By the technique of hybridization, new type of plants and new combinations are useful and that can be produced. So this was all about the Mendel's law of inheritance. Now we'll talk about mutation. Mutation is a sudden change in one or more genes or the number or the structure of chromosomes. See, mutation alters the hereditary material and it can result to organisms' death also. Two mutations are mentioned in your book, that is sickle cell anemia, another one is radioactive radiation. Sickle cell anemia is a blood disease which is caused by gene mutation. And a sickle-shaped RBC is produced. Radioactive radiations also produces a lot of genetic defects and deformities in the body of both plants and the animals. So this was all about the genetics.